Elon Musk is constructing a massive Starship rocket factory at SpaceX's testing facility in Starbase, Texas. This groundbreaking operation will mass construct the Starship and Super Heavy at a rate never before imagined in the aerospace industry. Gwynne Shotwell, president of SpaceX, has already set the lofty aim of producing one rocket each day. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is about the real reason SpaceX is building a Starship Gigafactory, Starfactory. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. The goal of building one Starship rocket every day is quite ambitious. Strange, even inconceivable, but Elon Musk's prediction that Tesla would make 1 million electric cars in a year would have been made a decade ago. Now, the company has accomplished this and much more. This year alone, they will most likely produce 2 million vehicles. And this isn't just Elon Musk speaking. We know he's prone to saying crazy things, but Gwynne Shotwell, SpaceX's president, is recognized for her practical approach and ability to get multi-billion-dollar government contracts. Shotwell told reporters earlier this year, quote, "Why can't we build a rocket every day? That is what we are working on with Starship, addressing every aspect of the manufacturing process in order to construct. There are a lot of these machines." And this is not the kind of language you'd expect to hear from the CEO of a legacy aerospace company. Let's simply try to keep things in perspective. NASA's Space Launch System is the closest equivalent rocket to Starship. The SLS design necessitates components from Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, and Aerojet Rocketdyne, which are all manufactured in separate parts of the United States and then sent across the nation to be joined together in Florida. The SLS can only produce one rocket per year at a cost of roughly $4 billion per launch. And now SpaceX is flaunting its muscles by claiming that they can construct a bigger, better rocket. Every day of the week? Like, how is that even possible? Elon frequently discusses the distinction between creating a prototype and mass producing a finished product at Tesla. SpaceX and the Starship are currently in a similar situation. So far, they've constructed quite a few prototypes. The majority of them have either exploded or been demolished and reprocessed before they could explode. One Starship and Super Heavy stack even made a heroic attempt to reach outer space, but sadly and predictably, it detonated. This is a positive development. This is known as iterative design. There have never been two identical Starships or Super Heavy boosters manufactured. Every one of them is either an evolution or an experiment. With each fireball, SpaceX gets closer to determining how Starship will be made. This stage of the development process necessitates the greatest amount of manufacturing flexibility. That is why, for the most part, SpaceX continues to build their Starships by hand, utilizing improvised tents and doing much of their work in the open for all to see. Because the way things are done today will be different from how they are done tomorrow. They must be able to start from scratch. This is why SpaceX is only now putting the finishing touches on their first actual Starship factory and production line. The day will come quite soon when Starship will be able to go into space and return safely and reliably. Only then will we know whether or not the Starship design is ready for mass manufacturing. We may look at the construction method that SpaceX has been utilizing so far to obtain an idea of what will happen inside a Starship factory. At Starbase, SpaceX has built a series of vertical assembly buildings. The low bay, the mid bay, the high bay, and the giant bay are the 4 bays. Despite the fact that the low bay was recently demolished and development of a second giant bay has already commenced. As a result, this is a clear indication of improvement. These structures are used to assemble rocket stages by stacking and welding prefabricated ring sections together. Elon Musk has stated that the reason SpaceX has continued to expand these structures over time is to enable additional workstations within each bay. More ships and boosters can be assembled at the same time this manner. As time passes, the process of building rockets inside these bays has grown much more automated. Robotic arms have replaced manual hand welding, and SpaceX has begun installing large turntable machinery that allow them to spin the rocket around while working. As a result, a person or equipment is never required to go from one side of the rocket to the other. The turntable will just bring them to the far side. Continuing to grow, even the three major production tents that have been a mainstay of Starbase since its inception are being removed from the site as manufacturing shifts to the Starfactory, which makes rockets in tents. This may appear to be a joke, but it is very similar to how Tesla learned to create their Model 3 and Model Y. Rather than trying to fit into the existing production area, Tesla built up large tents in the parking lot and started from scratch. This is how they were able to incorporate cutting-edge manufacturing techniques, such as their Gigapress casting machine. These are far too large to fit into an existing industrial floor. So Tesla put up their first Gigapress beneath a tent in Fremont and began building vehicles on it. They could design their new Gigafactories to be constructed around the Gigapress machines once they understood it worked for their purpose. When SpaceX obtains their raw ingredients, the manufacturing process begins. The three primary tents are essentially divided into constructing the Starship's top, middle, and bottom parts. One tent is filled with Raptor engines and is dedicated to the ship's and booster's lower thrust section. The ring sections and domes that make up the Starship's body and fuel tanks are housed in the center tent. Each portion is made up of 3 to 5 welded rings of steel. Because the tent is so small, sleeving the ring segments over the domes is usually done outside in the open air. Then, with a variety of cutouts, plumbing, and reinforcements, each section is prepared for its specific role. In the tent, finished pieces for the top stage ship are also fitted with thermal insulation and heat shield tiles. The third tent is then devoted to the production of nose cones. Long pieces of stretch-formed stainless steel are welded together along vertical lines to create these. Before rolling out, the nose section is also fitted with a heat shield. This is combined with a 60-foot-high roofline. So, having one continuous factory floor instead of 3 separate tents will definitely make the manufacturing process much easier, offering SpaceX 2 to 3 times the covered floor space. It also gives them a lot more vertical space. Because the tents are pyramid-shaped, they only reach their full height along the center and are somewhat low at the edges. In principle, this means that SpaceX could make each segment a little taller, requiring fewer sections to be stacked in the assembly bay. The final Starfactory layout will be more or less square in shape, roughly 800 feet by 800 feet. That equates to almost 5 times the total production space available to the business when it first began building starships. As the 3 principal tents are cleaned out, the foundation for the third and final phase of Starfactory development will most likely be built. So this is how SpaceX finally gets to the point of creating 1 Starship per day. However, Starship is also the foundation of Elon Musk's quest to construct a self-sustaining metropolis on Mars. The Starfactory is essential to make all of this a reality. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it. That is so important for getting our content out to more people. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.